Your hands are holding someone else's hands and you can't feel them. Not numb, not shaking, just not there. Your hands are doing the right thing, the correct pressure, the appropriate duration, and somewhere above your own head you're watching this happen and thinking, good, that looks right. You're nodding. You've been nodding for a while now. The nodding is perfect. The frequency, the slight downward tilt, the pause before it starts again. Someone is saying something and the nodding is responding to it, and you're aware of this the way you're aware of a clock ticking in another room. The words coming out of your mouth are correct. Thank you for coming. It means so much. I know. Each one arriving on time, in the right order, with the right weight behind it. You're watching yourself say them. The afternoon light is doing something specific to the doorway. You notice this. You notice the light more clearly than you notice the person in front of you, whose hands you're still holding, whose face has the expression people's faces get when they don't know what to say but have shown up anyway. Which is, you understand distantly, the point. You thank them again. You mean it, probably. The door closes. You still can't feel your hands. You've been here before. The next morning your alarm goes off and your body gets up. Not you, your body. It knows the sequence. Shower, kettle. The particular order of things you've done 1,000 times before. You watch your hand pour the coffee, note the angle of the wrist, the way the stream adjusts automatically without you doing anything. Your hand has done this. You weren't consulted. The commute happens, you're present for none of it. You arrive somewhere and have no memory of the distance between here and there, only that your body navigated it correctly, obeyed the signals, didn't kill anyone, got you to the place you were supposed to be. At some point, someone asks how you're doing and your face does the thing. The nod, the slight compression of the lips that reads as holding up. Your mouth says words, something about taking it one day at a time, and the words are the right words. You can tell because the person's expression softens with relief. They wanted you to be okay. You gave them okay. Transaction complete. You're in the bathroom that night and you catch yourself in the mirror. There's a lag, a slight, specific delay between your face moving and the face in the glass catching up. Like a video call with bad signal. Like the connection between you and your own reflection is running a few frames behind. You stare at it. You move a hand. The hand in the mirror moves. You feel, with a certainty that has no edge to it, that the person doing the moving isn't quite the same as the person being reflected. This is what everyone will later describe as you handling it so well. That's the gap nobody mentions. Not that you're falling apart, the opposite. That you're performing composure so fluently that no one, not even you, not entirely, can locate the place where the performance ends. She catches you in the break room on a Tuesday, your coworker, the one who always knows when something's wrong with the coffee machine before anyone else does, who remembers birthdays without checking her phone. She's been watching you for 2 weeks and she has something she needs to say. She puts her hand on your arm, just briefly, and she says, "I don't know how you do it. I really don't. You're so strong." You say thank you. You mean the thank you. Somewhere in you, a small thing lifts. Because someone saw, and what they saw was strength. And that's what you wanted them to see. You hold your coffee cup with both hands and you nod and you say something like, "You just
Keep going, I guess. And she squeezes your arm once more and leaves. The break room hums. The refrigerator makes its small refrigerator sound. You're standing exactly where you were standing before she walked in. And then something happens that you don't have a name for yet. The compliment doesn't land the way compliments are supposed to land. It lands somewhere just past you, like she threw it and you watched it go by. Like she was describing someone in the room and you looked around to find them. You felt the warmth of it arriving and then felt yourself not quite receive it, the way you can't catch something when your hands are already full of something you can't put down.
She meant it entirely. That's the part you keep coming back to, standing there under the fluorescent light. She wasn't being polite. She looked at you and saw someone holding it together and felt genuine admiration for what she saw. You were praised for something real. The composure is real. The keeping going is real. The nods and the right words and the functional days, all of it is actually happening. You're actually doing it. But standing in the break room after she leaves, you notice something. The thing she admired, the part of you she pointed at and called strength, is the same part that, when you try to locate yourself inside it, comes back empty. Not painful, not collapsed, just not quite there. Like pressing on a bruise and finding nothing under your finger. She saw composure, she called it strength, and the word felt like a door closing on a room you were still trying to get back into. Then, weeks later, you're in a grocery store, not a dramatic location, fluorescent light, the cereal aisle. Someone nearby is comparing prices on 2 boxes of the same thing, and you're standing very still and you don't know how long you've been standing there. A song comes on over the speakers, not a significant song, not the song you danced to, not the song from the service, not any song that should mean anything, just a song that was playing in October, in a car, on a Tuesday, before, and something cracks. What comes out isn't about the thing that just happened. It isn't proportionate to the cereal aisle or the fluorescent light or the mild inconvenience of being in a grocery store. What comes out is from October. From a specific afternoon in October that you apparently never finished, that your body filed somewhere and kept intact, waiting for a moment when your hands were full of nothing, no task, no composure required, nowhere to be, so it could finally arrive. You leave the cart. You go to the parking garage. You sit in your car and you don't know what you're crying about, which is its own particular terror, because you were so certain you'd handled it. You were told you'd handled it. Someone called it strength. And now you're in a parking garage on a Wednesday, and October is finally happening. You didn't invent this posture. There's a whole aesthetic built around it. You've seen it. The unsmiling face on the book cover, not sad, not angry, just sealed. The tote bag with the single word in sans serif. The cold water, the idea that if you stand in it long enough, you stop reacting to things. The person at the office who hasn't cried at anything in 3 years and gets described approvingly as having it together. The aspiration is a kind of smoothness, a face that doesn't break, a voice that stays level, a person who absorbs bad news the way a wall absorbs sound. Nothing comes back out. That's the look. That's what you're supposed to want. And here's what's strange. You've been complimented for resembling it, not in those words, but the compliment, the one about being strong, the one about holding it together, the one delivered in a hushed hallway by someone who meant well,
That compliment assumed this was the goal, that the seal was the achievement, that the nothing coming back out was the whole point. The word for this posture exists. You've heard it. It's on the tote bag. Stoicism. That's the word. Not the tote bag, not the cold water or the unsmiling face, the actual word underneath all of it, the one that got picked up and carried somewhere the men it came from wouldn't follow.
Those men weren't composed. They were exposed. One of them was a slave whose leg had been broken by his owner. When the bone snapped, he said calmly that this would break it, that it did, that there was nothing more to add. What gets quoted from that moment is the composure. What doesn't get quoted is the rest, that he was a man with no legal standing, no body autonomy, no exit. He wasn't performing serenity. He was trying to locate something inside himself that his circumstances couldn't touch. Because his circumstances could touch nearly everything else. The other one was riding in a tent. His name was Marcus Aurelius. He was running an empire he hadn't asked to run, in a war he didn't want. He had buried children, more than one. And he wrote privately, in notes he never expected anyone to read, about how hard it was, how the grief came for him regardless, how the practice wasn't about not feeling it. It was about trying to find his way back into his own life after it arrived. Words meant for himself alone, in the dark, like someone coaxing a fire that keeps going out. Neither of them would recognize the version that ends up on a water bottle. They weren't trying to become unreachable. They were trying to come back. You know that. You were in the parking garage. The distinction between returning and disappearing, that's the entire thing. That's what got lost in translation. You're still in the doorway. The person in front of you is still talking. You're nodding. You can see yourself nodding from somewhere just slightly above your own head. And your hands, if you looked, would be doing exactly the right thing. They say something kind. You say thank you. You mean it in the way you mean things from a distance. The scene hasn't changed. You've just been inside it longer now, and you know what you're looking at. Those two men, the one in the tent, the one whose leg had been broken, were trying to get back into their bodies. The feeling arrived anyway, and they found ways to return. To the room, the moment, their own hands. Return was the verb. Return was the entire point. And here you are, still leaving. Not dramatically, not in a way anyone in the room could point to. Your face is doing the correct thing. The person in the doorway probably thinks you're handling this with remarkable composure. And somewhere above your own head, you watch yourself agree with them. The person who lives in the body isn't there for any of it. They slipped out somewhere between the first sentence and the second. No one in the room noticed. Part of you is grateful they didn't, and part of you has been waiting, for longer than you can say, for someone to, right now, in the place you're standing, in the conversation you're half inside, behind the face that is doing everything correctly, you're leaving.